my topic today is how to create a buzz for your biz. And I really have a personal goal to start sharing my creativity and motion with our community, and just spending as much time teaching people how to be creative and some little tips and tricks. And so let's get started. Okay. Everybody ready? Here we go. Oh, and I should say that we are going to have a giveaway at the end of our speech, or at the end of this session. Whenever they come up with this thing, we're going to have a question, and we're going to give away our mermaid bong, because my entire speech is based on this piece and how it came to life and how we created a buzz for it. I'm sure several of you have seen our mermaid bong in pools, in dispensaries, in people's houses, we are proud that we've got many, many pieces out there actually in the world, all over the world, and people are having a good time with the product. And so, how did we create this launch, and how did it become so successful to really get out there? So it all started with this beautiful dream of a mermaid bong. I live on the beach, and I felt the ocean was calling to me. I felt that the ocean is an incredible, powerful female presence, and I was obsessed to create a mermaid bong. It took over 1.5 years in product development, and when we finally launched her, we had the product, and now we needed to create a buzz for the brand. And so,
I'm sorry.
Hang on, it's okay, we got
My
this.
fault.
We're good. Hang on, Tony's here, Mike.
Hi.
And there's Tony.
This is exactly what we didn't want to happen, guys.
Hang on one second.
You can keep going.
Okay, so basically, it all started with getting into the world of mermaids, and to actually find the mermaid culture and to really consult with a mermaid. So I started out working with a mermaid named Brandy Anthony. I met her by searching mermaids through the Instagram, and I found all sorts of different mermaids. And Brandy happened to be this gorgeous one that actually I paid to consult me and to teach me everything I needed to know about mermaids. Because when you're trying to create a buzz, you can never assume that you know what's going to happen in their lives. You want to make sure that you understand their world and how it reflects your world. So Brandy is this gorgeous mermaid that you've probably seen on our posters, which are coming up soon. Just a second, maybe, hopefully.
There we go.
There we go. Hang on.
Oh, no.
There she is. All right. So this little lady, she's a mermaid in Vero Beach, Florida. Okay. And so she's a content creator, a videographer. And what I did is, after I found her, I started talking to her, and I actually paid to consult with her. And I had several one-on-one conversations so that I can get a feel of the entire mermaid world, because you don't want to, authenticity means understanding as much as you can about what you're getting into before you start promoting it, because you don't want to say the wrong thing. And little did I know just how incredibly talented, artistic, and creative these mermaids are. So after I talked to Brandy, she kind of led me down a road, and then I went to what I always do on a project, which is create a wheel of opportunity. So I don't care what the subject is. For any of you that are entrepreneurs out there, you can take what you're doing and you can just put that in the center, and then let's go around this wheel. And so I just make lines out of a circle, and I look at all the different angles of what I'm dealing with. So I looked at all the domestic mermaids. I mean, who would have ever known there's a mermaid in Nashville? There's mermaids all over America in groupings. Then I looked at the global mermaid world. There are pods and mermaid groups all over the world that are helping to clean the oceans, helping to save our planet, helping to make sure that dolphins are not slaughtered. And the more I got digging into the mermaid sea, the more I could see that these still waters ran deep, and these ladies had a lot to offer. So then I did this collage, like you would do a Pinterest, of a mermaid lifestyle. And I captured everything that I could with a mermaid's life. And then I did a list where we created all of the mermaid events that are happening in the world, because these are our consumers, and we want to create a buzz for our biz. And a lot of times people in the cannabis space, they stick specifically to the cannabis industry. So what they do is they kind of limit themselves to that circle, and they don't go outside to the ripples and ripples of people. there's such an intersection. I'm using my mermaid vase right now. Yay. There's such an intersection to cannabis in so many things. And so that led me to Mermaids Who Consume, where I found THC and a lot of the other mermaids that, like Lux out here in Charleston. So I started going through all these things and putting together this kind of wheel of opportunity. Then I looked at, and this is very important, the products that are feeding into the industry. So every industry is connected to all these different products, and all of those connections are opportunities to build a buzz and a connection for your business. So when I started looking at the mermaid products, there's tail manufacturers, there's top manufacturers, there's hair pieces, there's so much that actually is just targeted to mermaids. Not only did I find ways to partner, but I also found ways to increase our market share and speak to mermaids and reach out to them. The other thing I do is I try to get very literal. Where is a mermaid found? In beaches, in springs, in pools. So like when I create a wheel like this, it gives me the opportunity to constantly look back on it and connect the dots for promotions. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that, honey. So we went to beaches and springs and pools. I started making a list. Like I didn't even know there were so many springs in Florida where mermaids are actually doing dives. I also, in looking at the industry, found underwater photographers. Like you could do a promotion with an underwater photographer and things like that create a buzz. It's very different. Then I also went to organics. The things that relate to it, the shells, the seaweed, the salt water. And I make lists like all the way down on this wheel. Then I went into the existing things that are already out there. What's already in Google searches and what are quotes about mermaids? Because, when you start reading quotes about how magical they are and how mystical they are, it helps you create that buzz, because in reality, we're not just in vase, we're an adventure here. And because I come from an entertainment marketing background and I'm used to promoting films for, Disney's and Dreamworks and Hollywood, it's really about the lifestyle of the character that is the promotion and the connection. Then I went into mermaids and history, found all the history about mermaids, and through that found such beautiful artwork and such beautiful creativity. And then I went into like the fun things that you can do for your Instagrams, like what relates to a mermaid. Just because like in the world of Disney, for example, Winnie the Pooh might be the main character, but you have Piglet and Eeyore and Tigger. I love Tigger. It's bouncy Tigger. So same thing with your product. I can have a mermaid vase, but I can also have a shell, and I can have other things that relate to the lifestyle of a mermaid. That led me to, let's look at the luxury side of this. And then I started getting into boat companies, yacht companies, water sports. Like how cool would it be to have a mermaid party with a paddleboard afternoon? And do something like that? Or how cool would it be to do something on the beach where we actually made a giant sand mermaid because, and pulled up and had a yacht party, like in Malibu. So there's all sorts of ways to connect the areas you want to create a buzz in with your product if you create this wheel. So then now in the beginning, when we launched our mermaid, we had plans to launch it on March 31st, 2020. And COVID hit. So we did still launch our mermaid, but what we were going to actually do is we were going to launch her with an aquarium party that was here in Charleston. And we were going to do it at the Charleston Aquarium, have a mermaid swimming in the aquarium. And then we were going to work with that mermaid and do a global tour of all the ocean initiatives. And we were going to try to raise money in each aquarium in the world where they had a global initiative. And I say this because when you're dealing with the press and when you're trying to create a buzz, you can't just do small things. You have to do big things. So when you're making this wheel, make sure that you as you can see, I went from the tiny little shells to what is the biggest thing? What is the global initiative for the oceans? And because of COVID and the other priorities that were very important in the time and still are, we couldn't launch this, but that's an incentive. And we hope to do something like this with one of our new mermaids that's coming out for this summer. So the other thing I did was we looked at the retail side and just how many gifts are out there, that relate to mermaids. And I know many people have things in their homes that are like, shello beautiful. And I have a coffee mug with a shell in it. But when you start looking at the retail visuals of what's happening, you're going to find ways for press. And I want to tell you this from a retail perspective. A lot of times when you do giveaways, you could partner with somebody else in the industry. Or if you don't have time to do that, you can go into retail and buy something that relates to your product or what you're doing. For example, if you're like Waffle Eye with the waffle cannabis leaf irons, you can go and you can buy waffle mix, and you can send something out to the press with everything you need to make waffles. So you don't necessarily have to buy only something in our industry. You can go into retail, buy something that complements your product, your mission, or the buzz you're going to create, and do that as a gift. And then that led me to, the most fun thing is mermaids already in pop culture. And it was there that I found Laganja under the water as a mermaid. And he offered to give us his picture that we put on our Instagram. And, you don't want to take a licensing thing, but there are many things like songs and things available that relate to mermaid culture. So in general, going through this whole wheel gave me a visual that I can use to create some of the energy and the buzz behind this launch. And now we can show you some of the results. So one of the first things we did was a photo shoot on the beach here in Folly. And we can hand this just for a second. This is very important that you guys go out and hire industry photographers or get good photo shoots so that you can actually use them for the press. So we went on the beach to get the photo shoot. As a product developer, I always jump into my photo shoots, and I decided to just take the vase and start heading in the ocean. And I wound up, diving in, literally, figuratively. And what it resulted in was the shot that Sharon Letts used for High Times. So there it is, like that. So why did I get that press and why did I create that buzz is because I made it easy for them to actually put us in a paper. I gave them the picture. I gave them the story. It was right there in their hands. And the media is so busy. So they need to have good options to be able to get your product out there and create a buzz. The other thing we did is we started pulling mermaids into our events. And and now, as you know, mermaids are getting everywhere. This is my dear friend, THC, Coral Kush. And so she's been not only helpful, but she got a mermaid a year ago. And I actually met her at this thing. A year later, she started her own business in the cannabis space as a mermaid for events. So, we always want to help our lady friends. And so we brought her, and there's Betty Crocker. We brought her to G4 Live for the Bud Tender Awards. And outside of the Bud Tender Awards, there was a pool. So I was like, why don't we do a mermaid swim at the pool? So, we were the first to kind of dive in and merge the product with the lifestyle, with the event, and had a blast doing it. And she's been so wonderful promoting our business and coming to our events and helping us. And we're just having a big splash together, as you can see. And this was a huge hit. There were so many pictures, and this is how you create a buzz. You bring fun to an event. You do something different that people are not expected to see. And believe me, we're going to be bringing more mermaids to events, and we're going to be teaching people and working with all these things on this wheel. We're going to be working with some of the brands to do a tail giveaway. We're going to look at this wheel and continue to promote our mermaid vibe. Also, I just love Brandy. She's created some content for us. She's going to continue to consult us. And since she did so much for me, when Champs opened up for the first of this year in Orlando, we brought Brandy into the booth. I was able to pay her. I was able to bring her to the table and, help her business as much as mine. We just have such a blast together. She's you got to get on the level. Like if I tell Tony, if you have a kid, you want to get down and you want to see the world from their perspective. So whenever you're trying to create authenticity and a buzz and have fun, make sure you get on the level of what you're doing. You dive into the ocean, you create your wheel of opportunity, and you connect these dots to really help build a buzz for your brand. So yes, experiential marketing. Experiential marketing is everything. That's kind of what I did as an agency for, the Disneys and the ESPNs of the world. And so I know that we got a lot to cover here. So I just want to leave on the note. We have a question. So the winner of this vase, we have a brand new mermaid vase that we're launching hopefully in time for summer. And for the vase, we get to choose the color palette. So I would like to know, what 3 colors should the new mermaid vase be? And the favorite one will win this vase at the end of this Tokeativity Holiday Takeover. And I love Tokeativity. I want to thank you so much. I know you guys probably have questions, but I think we need to wrap it up, right, Lisa? Oh, I have a few minutes? Oh, I was going off of that clock, not this clock. Gotcha. Does anybody have any questions? Anna McDuff says, wow. Did you come across judgment with the more mainstream companies being that your product? Yes. I, in fact, like with Brandy, the mermaid in the poster, I couldn't show her smoking because she does a lot of children's programs. So I was kind of careful about it, but many people, are ready for cannabis to be mainstream. So I tried to stay with, like, the aquarium locally was good because I was going to help them with a fundraiser that was going to raise a lot of money for them. We weren't going to consume there. So I kind of worked around things like that.
Someone from South Carolina here.
Someone from South Carolina, come visit us.
Here. I lost. It was just like Somerville.
I wanted.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Somerville. Oh, well, come visit us. You're so close. We need help all the time. So, like, let's say if we wanted to do a yacht party, or even a giant pontoon party, how much fun would it be to bring a couple mermaids? Let's say that we're in a legal market, right? We can do a seaweed sesh. We can get a photographer. We can get the tail company. We could take shells, and at this event, we can hide messages in shells all over the hotel. We can create a seaweed lounge. We can even like when I was looking at aquariums, because we did a giveaway with these bubbles, and I was like, oh, what if we just made aquariums and hid them all over an event? And we actually created full aquariums with the mermaid bong in them, the bubbles coming out of them. And then we had messages. Like, these are ways to get attention. When you're doing something to create a buzz, you don't want to go normal. You have to do something that's going to be talked about, that's going to be able to be shared, that's going to create attention and, get people talking about things. Ooh, lots of great colors. I can't wait to look at all of these.
Yeah, there's tons of very inspiring color schemes here. We've got red, green, and gold. We've got teal, green, and gold from Blaze, sea green, pearl white, cotton candy pink, purple lilac, blue. There's all kinds of fun colors. I'm going to just, without typing, put my vote in. I love rainbow. Rainbow anything. So always love that. Yep, I see Jay backstage raising her hand.
Lisa,
yeah, love that.
Did this make sense? Did the whole, like, putting it out on the wheel make sense?
Yeah, I want to talk about that for a second. Now we have a couple of minutes before our next guest, and before we break into sessions here. But yeah, the wheel, I saw a lot of comments about how inspiring it was. And I, backstage, I saw some like head shakes, some yeses, some agreeing moments here, because we're sometimes as business owners, we're very focused on like this, like one thing and this one task or this one thing to execute on, and taking a step back and thinking about the bigger picture. Yes. Is really an important part of the process, including the buzz stuff. And I want to second the creating and getting professional photography and literally just putting together a Google folder of different kinds of photos of you and your team, of you in different scenarios, of your products, etc. And put your bio in there and information about your business, because people are going to be curious about what you're doing, and it'll be very easy to share that information, that folder with them, so that they can select what's going to work for them. And if you have inspiring photos like Doreen has, they're going to maybe inspire people to write articles about you and highlight that actual picture of your product or business out there in the world.
Right. It makes it easy. I mean, we went through this here, I didn't update my own pictures. Right. So, and going through these mermaid pictures, there's so many great pictures. So and it makes the job easier for the press person. And you can hire our friend Andy is a writer, and there's so many writers in the cannabis space. And maybe that would be some good resources for some photographers and writers to be on a Tokeativity page somewhere, because these people are able to help you get that initial story. I mean, like you said, you get so lost in the weeds, you don't really in the seaweeds, you don't really step back and look at it. But I just discovered this whole wheel project when I was flying on an airplane. I was waiting for my flight to take off. It was late. And I was like, just to get Doreen to her destination, look at what's connected with me. And I literally wrote down every single thing, from food service to the emergency lights to the, and I look like, from the seat to the embroidery in front of me, from the TV to the headset. All of these create an experience, and they're all connected to whatever you're doing. So as a brand developer and a product developer and a consultant, this is what I do when I worked with other companies. Is I would go in and I would be like, because you're going to find sales revenues, you're going to find partnerships, you're going to find money in these areas. And we don't usually think like this. We get like, what am I going to do? So you need to step back when you're creating this and just like get it all in a wheel. Thank you.
His comments are so fun and cute.
It's some sassy red glasses. I know. This is one of my advertising campaigns. It's like, old glasses, and it's like bold. It's like old, bold.
Oh,
so yeah.
Doreen, I want to have like a something with you. It's just so fun to talk to you, and there's so much inspiration and wisdom here. And like, I know we can talk for hours and hours and get all inspired, and I wish you like all the best with this holiday season. And anybody who wants to purchase a My Bud Vase, Tokeativity has a 15% off discount code. It's Tokeativity15 for 15% off. And
we have a lot of holiday bonds right now. We've decorated some of our best sellers with like holiday flowers, like this Yamaya's comes with, this mermaid comes with the holiday flower. See that? Isn't it cute? And then we have our new Poppy, which is like the most popular thing that we've launched in a while. She's adorable. I saw some people have her there, Joyce, right? So we got all sorts of things
too. So thank you, Doreen, for being with us, and stick around today for continue to enter to win My Bud Vase. We also have some other giveaways we're doing at the end. Interactivity is the key to success here at the Tokeativity Social. Thanks again to Doreen. I'm gonna see you later, and really appreciate all of your wisdom here.
Thank you. You guys, everybody have a happy holidays, and may you be creativity and motion yourselves. Mwah.